Walking down a winding road, I see the sun that glows in every crack, in every stone where wildflowers grow. The whispers of the wind, they tell a tale of time. Every broken heart's a lesson dressed in quiet rhyme. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the haze. Every note a melody that plays through all our days. Find the strength in every chord, the courage to let go. Life's a song we're writing slow through highs and every low. The river runs its course, it bends but never breaks, just like the choices that we make, the chances that we take. Silver thread through symphonies of sorrow and the words we've left unsaid. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the haze. Every note a melody that plays through all our days. Find the strength in every chord, the courage to let go. Life's a song we're writing slow through highs and every low. Yo, it's the echoes of the past, the lessons in the cracks. We're patching up the holes in all the love we lack. Life's a dance, a crazy chance to waltz beneath the moon. Keep the rhythm steady, cause the dawn is coming soon. So take a bow and play your part, no matter how it stings. The world will turn, the tune will change, but love's what always clings. The violin, it softly cries, the stars begin to fall. Through tangled heartstrings we will rise, we'll conquer after all. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the haze. Every note a melody that plays through all our days. Find the strength in every chord, the courage to let go. Life's a song we're writing slow through highs and every low.
All I've had are flings, so I don't know. This is a question for you. I've been single my whole life, so you're good.
I would say, so fling is when you're just there to enjoy each other's company, or to really just kind of enjoy each other's company. What's the other part?
Can one turn into the other?
True relationship. Oh, true relationship. Thank you. True relationship is when you're really having like a meaningful relationship. I'm not saying you can't have that in a fling, but there's a deeper connection. You really get to know who they are, and you really see a future with them.
I think the difference between a true relationship and a fling is like your connection with that person. I think like a fling could turn into a relationship depending on how much you guys like mess with each other. Like if you guys are that locked in together, then it can turn into one thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a fling can turn into a relationship, but like it won't be built on the right thing. So the relationship might not be as good as it should be.
Yeah.
And it might end early on.
There's love and love being involved. And what do you think?
Finish your thing.
I think there's love that's involved, and like, yeah, there's a huge difference.
I think a fling is like something that's short term and something that doesn't last for a long time. And a relationship is something that, you build gradually and over time.
Awesome. So can a fling turn into a relationship, or can a relationship turn into a fling at all?
Of course. Well, can a relationship turn into a fling? Yeah, I can. I think so.
I would say with a true relationship, I feel like it comes with time. You know what I'm saying? That the time comes with a relationship if it's like a long time. And fling is that's probably like one night stand, or just for the time being in the moment. You know.
Hey guys, welcome back. I hope everyone has enjoyed their summer. With the heat ending and the fall coming along, we're here to help you untangle those heartstrings and fall into love this fall. Are you guys excited for that? I'm excited for that. We're here to help you navigate and love stronger than ever. This week, TJ, Andrea, are you guys ready?
Yes. I'm so excited. I'm always sad when summer comes to an end, because it's just like fun and light. And then it's almost like you go back to reality, it feels like. So I think it's a great time to reassess relationships, and especially those that are headed to college, away to school. I think that you've got a whole new world ahead of you. So my saying would be, don't let your summer flame block you from finding your next great relationship.
Good advice. Sorry, I had to put that in there. Good advice.
No, I agree. And honestly, we love being with you all each and every Sunday, whether we're just your brain rot crew or your advanced algorithm advisors. You have quality questions about your current relationships, situationships, or intimate connections, and we love to cover those questions with you. So feel free to email us those questions at tangled@ld3productions.com. Once again, that's tangled@ld3productions.com.
Hey guys. Okay, sorry, I was having a little mic issues. I'm sorry. I am here with you. All right.
Oh, there we are.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, my bad. I was having a little bit of mic issues. All right.
Okay, let's go ahead and dive in to the first segment. And what do we have to talk about this week?
Honestly, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, guys, but summer's over, guys. Those summer memories that we cultivated over the summer are going to replay in our heads, long term, from strolling down the boardwalk, drinking our spiked lemonades, and, stumbling upon a mini golf arcade. Maybe you met someone that you just can't stop texting or FaceTiming with. Those moments and emotions are a blast. I can attest to that. I've had a couple summer flings since my upbringing. Always make you smile. And unfortunately, we have become hopelessly devoted to our summer flings.
Sing it, TJ.
But this is the time where we must have the talk with ourselves and our counterparts, whether our situation is a fling or is it forever. You must be one with yourself and self-assure yourself that your intentions are true. And let's set it straight. You could just be horny. I fall a victim to that. It's kind of due to the consistent change of heat outdoors and the AC blasting in different places, mixed with a little drinks, they change our hormones. So the talk could just be that you're just having goodbye sex and moving on to who's next. But who knows better than you? Ladies, do you have any advice pertaining summer flings?
Huh. Mia.
You guys are always asking me this, but I've never had a summer fling.
Oh, you're missing out,
Yeah,
girl.
the advice that I would truly give you for a summer fling really would be just, if you think it's gonna work, okay, let's just do this in general. If you think that you can't wake up with that person the next morning, then it's not a summer fling. So if you think that maybe you're not going to be happy the next day if that person's not there with you, then I don't think it'd be a summer fling. But I don't really have any advice for a summer fling because I've never really had the opportunity. Not that I've wanted it, obviously, but I've never had the opportunity. Andrea?
Well, let me see. Okay, so I don't know that I would call them summer flings that I've had. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think more friends with benefits is where mine would go rather than just a summer fling. So I kind of go into it knowing exactly what it is. So I'm not really looking for anything more than that. And I make it very clear up front too. If that's what I'm into and I think that's what we're doing, I make that very clear. So I think that is the main thing, right? The communication that we always talk about is having that conversation up front. So you guys are both on the same page, because the hardest thing is to come out of something when you are on two different pages. That makes it really difficult.
I agree with you there, but I don't think the summer fling has to stop. I think the summer fling could move into something more, especially if you have that feeling of not wanting to wake up without them the next day. I mean, of course, you're not going to move in together the next day, and you're going to have to spend that time apart. But just the thought of them being away, then maybe it's just not a summer fling. And that's when you have that open communication conversation of, hey, I think my feelings are a little bit more than just a summer fling. I would like to go ahead and have this go further. I would like to explore it a little bit further than that.
Yeah,
I agree with you,
I like
Mia.
that.
I think flings can turn into bigger things. That's my saying for it. And I think it's really setting your intentions on what you want. Where your relationship is going to go, how far you want it to go. If you don't set those boundaries, going back to what Mia says, constantly communicating and establishing what the grounds are for your relationship, even while the fling is going on, you should be able to establish those grounds on how your fling's going to go. Because you could just want your fling to go to second base, not third base, things of that nature.
Yeah.
But immediately setting your intentions, I think, can take you a long way. And I think that trust and honesty should be built between the fling and the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, but that leads to my favorite word, guys. What is that? It is communication. Communication, guys. That is the most important thing. As long as you're communicating with your partner, even if it's not a long-term partner, and you don't have those plans of it being long-term, communication is still needed there, because you don't want lack of communication and then this person is absolutely in love with you and then you have to hurt their feelings. As long as it's communicated from the beginning, hey, this is a summer fling, it's only going to happen between July and the beginning of September, and you have that communication with that person, then nobody's feelings get hurt. And that's where we come into the problems of the jealousy and the stalking and all of those other things that happen when you leave that summer fling behind, because we haven't communicated, hey, we're going to end in August. That's it. I'm done in August. And as long as the person's okay with it, then hey, go for it. But you have to have communication.
I love that you set like a timeline on it, Mia. You're like, if you're having a summer fling from June 1st through August 31st, I mean, you've got the timeline down, girl.
I mean, if it's a summer fling, you should have that timeline down. You're going to be in this area, even if it's just for a few weeks. I'm going to be in Florida from July 30th to August 21st.
Yeah.
So, hey, I know I'm going to be here. I've met you online. We're going to meet in person. let's go ahead and say, hey, I'm here between this time, and this is how long our relationship is going to last. I know a lot of affairs have that in place. Not that I'm agreeing with your affair, because we should have communication. We should be open and honest with our partner. And if we plan on having sex with somebody else, then we should tell them.
Mhm.
I don't, and that's why divorce rates are so high, because we don't communicate. If
Yeah.
we communicated a lot more, then the divorce rates would not be as high.
I will say that for those people that are weary and not good in having, a fling where they fall fast and hard, that can be a really slippery slope getting into like a summer fling or something like that, because if you catch feelings fast, it can make things very difficult. So you want to kind of steer clear of that if that is kind of your MO. I think you're better off just to wait for something a little more solid in that case, my opinion.
How long should you wait in order to have the talk?
Ooh, the LTR. Or wait, no, what is it called? DTR. Define the relationship.
Define the relationship. That should be in very early communication to me, honestly. I don't think that we should wait until date 3 or 4 to have that talk. I think it needs to be done pretty upfront. And if you're dating multiple people, the other person needs to know that you're dating multiple people. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. That is why it is called dating and not commitment. Commitment is when you are with one other person. When you're dating, and even if I were dating one person and I know he's out here dating 4 or 5 other people, I'm going to get myself checked.
Yeah.
Well, dating today isn't what it used to be.
Okay, I have a couple questions for you there, Mia, because you said about the defining the relationship that you don't think you should wait to do that. You should do that right off the bat. Are you saying defining if you want to be in a relationship or for it just to be a fling?
Defining the relationship to me is truly just in the beginning, what are my expectations? What are
That's not what it is these days. Sorry to tell you.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, sorry. No, defining the relationship now is when you have that conversation of like, okay, we've been dating for 2-3 months. We are only seeing each other. We really don't have any desire to see other people. What are we to each other, and where are we going with this?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you're not doing that on the first date, or there will not be a second.
Obviously, you're not. I mean, we want to know our intentions around the first date, of course, but I mean, it's defining the relationship should be communicated effectively throughout the entire relationship, because you're defining your relationship pretty much every day. It's not going to be on a single outing that you're going to decide that you're going to be with this person forever. You're going to slowly define that relationship. I don't think, I guess pretty much the defining of a relationship is, hey, I don't want you to see anybody else, and you don't want me to see anybody else.
Yeah. But the thing is, and it can be really tricky. I was just actually talking about this with somebody, because you have to be ready for that. Like, let's say, for example, you're hanging out with somebody, you guys are having a good time, you're dating, right? So maybe you're both dating other people, maybe only one person is dating someone else. And at some point, if you have an issue with that person dating somebody else and you want to say, hey, I'm really kind of uncomfortable with you dating somebody else, or being intimate with somebody else and being intimate with me, you have to be prepared yourself to then be all in on this relationship. Does that make sense? Because I feel like if this were me, I wouldn't want to go to somebody and go, hey, I really don't want you dating this other person. I really don't like that. I kind of want you just dating me, but hey, I'm going to go date other people. So you both have to really be ready for that conversation, right? So you want to make sure you're both on the same page.
I love what you said there, Andrea. I think I want to speak to my young gentleman out there and say that is the time where you set your true intentions. And I'm going to keep saying it. I think intentions might be my word instead of communications. Setting your true intentions, letting that woman know that if she wants a serious relationship and you don't, you should be upfront with your intentions and say, I'm not really ready for this. It now may not be the time. Being upfront with your true emotions and who you are goes a long way with women. I mean, a lot of these men think it's funny to play with women's hearts and be like, oh, I'm so in love with you. Our fling can grow to more just because you want to keep that person around. She is more likely to stay around if you are true with your intentions, because later on you're going to be battling yourself and questioning your own intentions. So I
Well,
need you to be upfront with your intentions when that talk is had. Do not fool around with hearts.
ooh,
We
ooh, I like it.
We have a question from Nelson, and it says, do you think people are scared of commitment or just not ready? Honestly, Nelson, I think it is fear of maybe this really isn't the right person for me, that there's somebody else better out there. And that's when we run into that issue of jealousy. Because then you're like, oh my gosh, if I can't commit to this person, and especially the person you're not willing to commit to, are you ever going to be able to commit?
Good point. And I think a lot of that has to do with our world today with the online dating, because there's always the temptation, because with online dating, you can be talking to one person and things don't go exactly as you hope or plan. And there's always somebody else. It's just one swipe away, right? So we always have that person waiting around the corner. And I think that kind of bleeds over into our regular life relationships, where we're with somebody, but we're kind of questioning. We have that FOMO of like, but what if I was with this person, would it be different? What if I'm, dating this guy, but out there is somebody else that's a better match for me? So I think that also gives us the fear of commitment, because we're not quite sure we're ready to be all in, for the fear of missing out on something else. It's a tough world of dating.
You want me to be honest with you, Andrea?
Yeah.
I honestly think that we're all just horny. We all just want to have sex, and we're willing to risk hurting somebody else's feelings and not create that commitment and not have that open communication just because we're horny.
Yeah.
We want to have sex, and that's natural for humans. It's a way for us to feel good about ourselves. It's a way for us to feel good about our partner. And it releases a lot of good endorphins and it makes us feel good. So, honestly, I think our hookup culture is not necessarily crazy to me. I think it is great that we're at that hookup culture stage, because I'm not necessarily offended by sex in any way. And a lot of people are offended by sex, and by the hookup culture coming to light and us being willing and more willing and open to try newer things, because we see others doing it with social media. We can see other people doing these things, and then we get that FOMO that you were talking about, and it becomes
We get pretty much lost in the difference between commitment and what freedom is without commitment. I think we don't. I think we're afraid that if we are committed to someone, that we are not allowed to openly be with anyone else, unless you like I have been saying, set your intentions straight and let that woman know that, hey, we can be in this relationship, but you can also have the talk where you both can have an open relationship and confide in each other emotionally,
right.
but also have sex with someone else, physically, but being communicative with your partner.
Exactly. Using that
is what you
powerful
need.
word is communication. As long as you're communicating effectively with your partner and you are letting them know that, hey, I'm not a one person kind of love. I'm not monogamous. I want to be in an open relationship. And maybe you've been with this partner for a really long time and it's just something that's come to light. And you're like, hey, I know I love you. I want to be with you. I don't want to lose you. But I have feelings for somebody else. And that can happen because you can fall in and out of love with so many people throughout your life. It's whether or not you pursue that love. So if you're wanting to pursue love with somebody else and not necessarily love, a lot of these relationships are strictly based on sex, because maybe the man has ED, or he's not willing to have sex. We have asexual partners out here where they don't have sex. So that's when that open relationship really comes into play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I just saw a comment from Jerry Smith Park that said, "This is facts. Timing really decides if it's a fling or the next thing." And I think that's such a great statement, because a lot of times it is about timing. It's where you're at within your life, within the relationship, within the summer, whatever you're doing. If you are just looking for a fun time in the summer, then that's great and that's perfect timing. If you are coming off of another relationship and you're kind of in your rebound stage, then that may not be the best timing for something more serious. Once again, you might just look for a fling that's going to get you through the summer, over that hump, no pun intended, and then it gets you back on track. So I think timing is very important when all this comes into play, because if you get it at right at the right time, some people are sometimes looking for exactly the same thing, and it just is magic.
I have a quick idea that's been running through my head, and it's when you get into a committed relationship, I believe the fear of missing out should be erased from your brain. I think a lot of people get into relationships and they fear what they might be missing on the other side. They say the other side might not be greener, but you can also bring that greener side to you. You can
Water
have
your own
that
grass.
big movie Latina in your girlfriend. Making sure that what you want is there in front of you. You can have these sexual fantasies that you can pursue with your loved one. Make what you're missing out appear in front of you. Don't miss out on it.
Yes, but also don't make your partner do something that they're unwilling to do. Don't pressure them in to making that decision. Mention it, let them sit on it, and then, a couple weeks later say, I know we had this conversation a few weeks ago, but I'd like to touch on it again. I mean, hit it softly, especially if it's somebody that you've been with for a really long time. It's not something that you just want to throw on the table. Hey, I met this person last week and I want to fuck them. You don't want to do something
No,
like
sure,
that.
no.
You want to hit that softly and communicate effectively. Use all of the tools that you have in front of you, the years that you've been together, all of the feelings that they feel. If this is a jealous person that you're trying to do this with, definitely hit that a little bit softer. We don't want to run into that jealousy. That jealousy can lead to the relationship ending. And this is something you don't want to end. You want to open it up into more opportunities. And I'll be completely honest with you. I think not necessarily going and playing at one, but I think if this is something that you and your partner have discussed and you've decided that this is something that you do want to pursue, hit a swingers club. Go in there and don't play. You don't have to talk to anybody, and just go in there and be like, see what happens. You don't have to do anything.
Where do you find those, Mia? Is it like 1-800-SWINGERS? Where do you find stuff like that?
Girl, if you are not on social media and you do not see those things, they will tell you everywhere they are. I cannot name them.
What? I've
There's
got a clean feed on social media.
If you're in a bigger city, if you're near a bigger city, like DC has several. There's a lot in Miami. There's just
gotta be up here in California, I'm sure.
There's a lot.
I was going to mention the cruises. Yeah.
Yeah, there's cruises that you can go on, and if you're not having fun, you can still have fun with your partner.
Yeah, you guys
you
don't
can
have
still
to.
spend that time with your partner.
Yeah. And it's usually those are adults only, so you don't have to worry about kids being
Them
around.
kids ain't on them boats. You're gonna have fun regardless, whether it's with somebody else and your partner joining or just you and your partner.
Honestly, I'd say if you are interested in getting into that, that's your time to test that lifestyle out. Take that cruise. It's probably only about 3 days. Dip your foot in the water. You don't even have to go fully in. You can just have a watcher. You never know. You can have your own taste of what you want, and just give those 3 days your test trial. See how far you're willing to go. What strings can you pull? What strings can't you pull? That is your time to test it out. There's even resorts that you can go to. I've heard of plenty in Jamaica that you can go to and just test it out, get away for the weekend. Just take that time within your relationship with your partner to test the waters and see how far are you willing to go. And after you have that conversation, then you guys can go ahead and see where you want to go with this.
Yeah, please don't throw some cruise tickets on the table and be like, hey, honey, I planned this surprise trip for us.
We're heading to Temptation Island.
We don't want to do that. We don't want it to be a surprise to them. I mean, maybe if you've already had that conversation and you're like, oh, hey, yeah, sure. Let's both go do it. And then it's like a birthday present or a Christmas present or something like that. Anniversary present. Those are always fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I see that Esther has a great question. She says, what's the biggest red flag you've ignored because the vibes were too good? And I like this question because we're going to dive into our next segment that I'm going to head up here. We're going to talk about the one thing that most of us are guilty of, which is seeing the red flags. And then what do? We paint them green, right? We've all been there. That little gut feeling that whispers like something's off, but we totally ignore it because the chemistry is so good or they're saying all the right things and we just don't want to start over. So we tend to ignore them, right? So tonight we're going to dive into why paying attention to those red flags can save you time, energy, heartbreak, all of those good things, because the small little things on the trajectory of the big things, it can be really difficult. So we're going to dive into that, right, you guys?
Yeah, we're going to. All right, guys, let's go ahead and see what our MOS is for this one.
I don't even know. I feel like I'm the one that is the red flag. I don't know. I'm too honest. But, you know, that's just me. We're better at relationship stuff. I just do the other stuff.
I'm trying to think. I don't.
Peeing in water bottles.
Can you explain?
I mean, yeah, there was a time where this guy, he was peeing in a water bottle in his car, and I was in the passenger seat, and the water bottle started overflowing. And he said, oops, or he was like, oh, it's just water, since it was just like he was drinking beer. And it was just, it got all over the cars, in the car seat, and like, it was gross.
Like, our weirdest red flag is probably like using trauma to manipulate. I think that's probably the weirdest red flag.
I agree with him.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, somebody who's disorganized and somebody who is like a mama's boy, I would say. What else is a red flag for me? Inconsistency. That's a red flag.
The weirdest red flag is like when females try to be they trying to be like men. You know, they trying to say that they can do what men do. They can be with as many guys as they want to. You know what I'm saying? And play it like a man play. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of my biggest red flags. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. Yeah.
Well, that was some interesting man on the street questions and answers.
Oh, those were some interesting. It was an interesting night, that's for sure.
For sure.
So have you guys been known to ignore a red flag and then regret it later? Have you done that?
I mean, I've been married for a pretty long time, so we've gone through different stages of life.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure I've thrown off a shit ton of red flags at some point in my life. Probably right now, but it's okay. But I mean, my husband's had red flags that I've ignored in the past. And it's just been a stage within his life that we've just had to go through together. I mean, a lot of people see those things and they don't put a green flag on it, and then they regret it later because the person turns out to be this amazing person, you know? Um, but I mean, I think we all go through stages in life and our red flags change throughout life. So some things that would have bothered me, like him looking at some girl's butt when I was, 16 and 17 years old when we were first dating, yeah, that was a red flag to me, but I looked past it because I liked him. I was willing to look past that, which I'm so happy I did, because we've gone through the different stages and we've gone through all the red flags with each other.
Yeah.
And I think us working through those red flags together. So I don't think necessarily that red flags are a bad thing. I think when we see these red flags and we communicate that we think these are red flags with our partner, then they can work on those red flags, and then we can become better as partners together. So I don't necessarily think putting a green flag on a red flag is bad. It's your willingness to work, but the communication needs to be there, and you need to let your partner know, hey, you did this and it pissed me off, or it hurt my feelings. So as long as we're effectively communicating those red flags to our partners and they're willing to work on those things, then I think we can work through red flags.
Yeah.
Whew.
Sorry, that was a lot.
No. While you were talking, I was sitting here thinking, if I ignore red flags, and I have to say, I think now that I'm older, I have been learning to, like you said, accept some red flags, because they don't ultimately make the person, unless like you converse with that person and give them a better understanding. But when I was younger, I want to say I was the walking red flag.
Ooh.
Was very, very, fun at the time, but then I started to realize that I wasn't really in tune with who I was, and I was more so trying to be impressive to other people, and I was hurting people, and that really wasn't my character. And like, I apologize to everyone that encountered me when I was younger and who I was before. I think, as like I said, as I've grown up, I've become this more mature person who's understand that there are red flags, and I'm waving sometimes, but I would love to identify green flags a lot. But I will always accept you for who you are, and if we can work on changing things, we can work on it. But if we talk and these things don't change, then I might have to hit the boot on you. But other than that, I've learned to accept them more.
All right, really quick. Wizzy has a really good question. Let me find it. Oh, shoot. I lost it. Oh, would you call jealousy a red flag or normal? And I think we need to hit on that, because jealousy is normal. The amount of jealousy is what matters. If it is consistent and you guys are discussing it, then it becomes a problem. As long as your communication's there, it is consistently, and you're not effectively trying to fix the reason why this person is jealous, unless it's like out there and fucking crazy. I mean, honestly, on social media, I'm going to tell you, I think people getting pissed off that their partners like other people's videos is ridiculous to me, regardless of what the video is. I think it's absolutely fucking ridiculous to me. It is social media. These people do not live near you. These people are not your friends. They are content creators. They are not worried about the likes they get. They really don't give a shit about the comments that they're getting. It's social media.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, all about that.
And it's not, and I'm talking about all of them. I'm talking about Facebook. I'm talking about Instagram. I'm talking about TikTok. I'm talking about all of the social media, because truly, why are we getting upset about somebody that our partner is never going to meet in real life? I mean, honestly, why do we get pissed off that our partner liked a video because some girl's ass was hanging out? He is never going to meet that girl in real life. He's going to sleep in that bed next to you that night, and it's going to just cause a problem if you're pissed off about it. I just don't see the reasoning behind it. Jealousy, to me, I've been that jealous person, and I'm not that jealous person anymore. Jealous to me is just toxic to yourself. It is toxicity, and it is mental health decline.
Mm-mm.
It is not a feeling. A little bit of jealousy here and there shows that you love your partner. But I mean, to be consistently jealous of your partner liking things or looking at something, walking down the street, or even talking to their coworker, I just think it's crazy to me.
Yes, as long as it stays in that healthy place, because there is a lot of times that it can go in that direction where people, especially saying with coworkers and stuff, I think that's a little bit more easy for something to happen and go down that path than social media for sure. But yeah, I think jealousy, a little bit of it is healthy in a relationship because you want to know that your person cares, right? You're not just out doing willy-nilly and they don't give a shit whatever you're doing. I don't think that feels good for anybody. So them having a little bit of jealousy, I think is very healthy, but it's when it goes too far that it definitely becomes a major red flag. So I think there's different levels of red flags and everything is a little bit different to each person as well. What might be a red flag to me may not be to you, because we've gone through different experiences and different situations in our life. If I was cheated on multiple times and somebody looking at another girl all the time or constantly commenting on someone else's pictures may trigger me, and that may be a big red flag to me, right? So it just kind of depends on the situation, I think.
Right, I agree with you there, Andrea. I find some guys that think jealousy is a green flag. I've met a guy that was like, "Hey, if she's jealous that I'm talking to someone else, that means she truly loves me and she truly wants to only be with me." So I mean,
how we look at things
What'd you say there?
I said, how we look at things, TJ, these days, right? It gets a little fucked up how we're looking at things. We're like, hell yeah, I wish he was like talking to other girls and stuff, because then it would show at least he cares about something,
Yeah, it's not only girls. It's not only guys that do that. There's girls out there too that love it because they're like, if my man wants me for me, he gonna stick with me and be jealous when another dude tries to talk to me.
Yep.
I guess since I've gotten over that jealousy in my life, I just don't see the point in it. So, I mean, it drives me crazy. It drives me absolutely
But now,
bad.
Mia, you and I have had some discussions, and we're probably going to talk about it a little bit on here with open relationships. And when we allow somebody into that relationship with your partner, I think that jealousy might arise a little bit again. Yes?
If that ever does happen, it would be something that is truly discussed and it would be something far in the future. I don't think it would happen at this moment because we are in such a good place right now with just the two of us that I don't see it being effective. I don't know that jealousy and it could happen. I don't know that jealousy would be anything that would come into play. I think it would be more of a lifestyle, them fitting into ours and us fitting into theirs at this point. We're so set in our ways. It's so hard to bring somebody else into a relationship like that when it's just there and you have your routines and it's just it wouldn't necessarily be jealousy. It would be more of an inconvenience at this point.
Yeah. Well, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So if you guys are doing amazing.
I mean, if I'm not saying it'll never happen because that possibility is there. It's been there in the past. So it's just not something that we're looking for right now.
Yeah. Well, I think that a lot of times when we're looking at those outside relationships, whether it's threesomes or, we're looking for a polyamorous relationship or, swingers, all the things we're talking about, we just have to be careful that we're using the communication, like we always say, and that you guys are on the same page on stuff. Because if you think you're all monogamous and then all of a sudden that door is open, you got to be prepared for what you can walk into with that door now open. So you want to be
Drake said something. He said jealousy doesn't prove love. It's just insecurity. Jealousy is not insecurity to me. The level of jealousy can show insecurities. Yep. Yes.
I agree.
But I don't think that jealousy is insecurity, period. I think it depends on the level of jealousy.
Yeah.
I don't think that it would really be fully insecure. I'm not an insecure person. I'm not an insecure person at all, but I have jealous tendencies.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it has anything to do with insecurity.
So where do you think that those jealous tendencies are coming from when you're thinking about it in your
I
relationship?
know where my jealous tendencies come from. I love him. I don't want to see him with anybody else.
Okay. So that's
But
interesting.
I am also willing, if it would make him happier, to let him go.
Wow.
So I'm willing to sacrifice myself and allow him to have happiness if that would make him happier. So my jealousy is knowing that I'm willing to let him go, and he knows that. So if the opportunity ever presented itself and he did fall in love with somebody else, then we would just be welcoming her in, because I would not be willing to let him go.
So what I'm hearing is there's no jealousy from the grave.
No, there's no jealousy from the grave. But it's just the thought of losing him, because I know that if I were to wake up tomorrow and he wouldn't be there, I'd be very sad. I'd be very depressed, and it would take me a long time to get over it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's where my jealousy is the thought of loss is where my jealousy comes from. The thought of losing him.
I believe that was Scott that said that.
Scott.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there, bud, about jealousy being insecurity, and I don't think it's that. I think it's the fact that your counterpart has made you so insecure that you become jealous of other people. If they're forcing these wrongs that you have talked to them about not wanting in your relationship, then they make you feel insecure. That's when the jealousy comes in. If you are giving what I want to someone else, then it's like, why aren't you giving it to me? That's when I become jealous. It's like, if I want to receive love and you make me feel that you don't love me, it's like, how am I supposed to respond to that? What am I supposed to do other than be jealous because I'm not receiving it from the person that told me they would give it to me?
Okay, Nelson said something. We really need to hit on this because it goes directly with what we're talking about right now. Jealousy fades when trust grows. And that's the truth. As long as you have that trust in your partner, you know your partner is going to come home and go to bed with you at night. You know that they're going to do all of the fun things that you have planned, and they're growing in life with you, and you have that trust and that communication. The jealousy leaves, and we're proof of that, my husband and I, because we lacked communication, and that's why I'm so hard on communication right now, is because we lacked so much communication in our relationship. It almost destroyed us. So it's important to have that communication. Communication builds trust. Trust gets rid of jealousy, and then we're happy. Then comes the sex. Then comes the sex. Then we can talk about the threesomes and joining the swingers clubs and all of that. As long as the communication is there, and the trust is there, the jealousy will slowly dissipate. But if you're continuing to do these things that bring up those jealous tendencies and you're not willing to work on them, and I know I hate it when people get jealous over social media, but if it's truly making your partner jealous, work on it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, do you really need to like 15 of so-and-so's videos? Maybe like one or two. Do you know what I'm saying?
Obsession there.
Well, I agree. It might be an obsession there, but I truly try to step back and look at yourself also if your partner is jealous, because you want to look at both sides of it. You're openly communicating. They're letting you know what's going on. They're letting you know that you're hurting their feelings, or you're pissing them off, or whatever it may be doing. You're making them jealous. Work on those things that are making them jealous. Don't
give them a reason.
Don't give them a reason to be jealous.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you're not doing all the what do we call those? Love whatever. I'm lost.
Love actions? I don't know.
What are we talking about?
Our love type.
Love languages. Love languages.
Here we go.
Yes.
See, even I forget things sometimes. But like, if we're not, they want gifts. If we're not bringing them flowers, or taking them out to dinner, or making time for them, is also going to take away jealousy. It's showing that you're willing to sacrifice your time to spend with them, especially early on in the relationship. Making time for your partner is so important. It is like probably what is going to make your relationship work underneath of communication, is making time for your partner. Because if you're not making time for your partner, they're not going to feel like a priority to you. And you want to feel like a priority to them, and they're making time for you, but you're giving every excuse under the book, but you're still going to hang out with your buddies, guys. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
That creates the jealousy. They can even become jealous of your friends. Don't do it.
Yes.
Yeah, I got advice for our young gentlemen out there, and gentlemen in general. I think we need to put that woman on our calendar. Make sure you have a separate calendar for just you and your loved ones.
Oh.
Whether it's your kids, whether it's your wife, make sure you have that calendar set so that you can plan ahead. If I want to be, commit to the 777 rule, you make sure you abide by that. By having it on the calendar, it sends you reminders so that you always got it on your phone. So when you're liking that picture, that reminder's popping up. It's
Tell
letting you
everybody
know.
what the 777 is, TJ. Remind everybody.
Yeah, what is 777, TJ?
It's every what is it? It's every 7 days, every 7 months, and
Every 7 days you go on
every
a
7
date.
weeks. Yep, I'm always
Every 7 weeks
and
you
then
go out
every-
of town for the weekend.
Yep,
And every 7 months you take a vacation.
I do 333. It's a little.
I don't know. We do 111. No, I'm just kidding. No, truly, we go on a date night probably every Friday night.
That's
Oh,
smart.
Yeah.
every 7 days. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, just but like I said, abide by that calendar. Make sure you have that calendar set in place so that you don't forget. Because even if you do it on your work calendar or your Google calendars, you have those reminders that are going to pop up on your phone.
We don't need a separate calendar. We need a calendar filled with everything that we are doing. So when we get those reminders, we're not scheduling things on those dates.
Yes.
Put them in the same calendar, guys. Seriously, with your kids' sports and the meetings and the conferences and all of that. Put it all in the same calendar, so that way you're not getting 500 different notifications from 500 different calendars. You want to have it all in the same one, so that way, when that notification pops up, you're like, oh yeah. Or when you go in there to add something and you have a meeting, and then you forget that, hey, on the date night calendar, we're supposed to go on a date night. Your meeting doesn't end till 5 and your reservation is at 7. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Let's keep it on the same calendar. I love the idea. Don't get me wrong, TJ.
I think that's
one
same thing.
calendar.
I was talking about how like on
Okay.
Google you have those
Right.
combined
Oh,
kind of
the
news.
different colors. Yeah, choose the color on your Google
Yeah.
for just date night.
I'm glad you guys clarified. I was going to say, are we team TJ or team Mia on that one?
Yeah, no, we can totally do. So, I mean, even on the cozy calendar, I think they have colors.
Mhm.
So,
Every calendar allows you to
Right.
put different categories.
right,
Red,
exactly.
red for love.
Even
And
if you
don't
want to
forget
write
to
it down.
send your partner the invite.
Yeah.
So just in case you forget, your partner knows.
And they will remind you.
Oh, every time, every single time. Don't forget to send it. And if you do a reservation through Google for dinner, go ahead and send that too. So the passenger has the address and can be the passenger princess or prince.
I also want to give you guys a little advice too. I think it's 1-800 to go flowers or something like that. You can subscribe to a monthly subscription where you could completely forget that you sent your woman flowers, and she's gonna get the flowers, and she's gonna love that they came from you. And then maybe chat GPT a little fake love note. But be real. Let's be real. Let's write a love note with those flowers. But like I said, there is a monthly subscription where you can send her flowers, and you can completely forget that you sent her those flowers. But she's gonna love that you got those flowers for her. And once she comes back and is loving up on you, you're gonna come back to TJ and say, "Thank you, brother."
Absolutely. And it doesn't necessarily have to be flowers either. I mean, even just stopping on your way home from work and grabbing her favorite drink, or, going out and getting food and remembering her favorite food and adding that to your takeout menu. You get a takeout box after you've gone to your, work dinner or whatever, because, she's busy at work herself, or he's busy at work himself. So, just taking that extra moment in your day and just thinking of them. Hey, I stopped by the convenience store and I know their favorite chocolate is Reese's. So I'm going to pick up a Reese's cup. Even if they didn't ask for it and they haven't had it in months, and they're not going to want it. They're just going to know, hey, oh my gosh, they really thought about me. I haven't had that in months. I haven't even thought about that in months, but that's my favorite candy. So just taking that 5 minutes a day and being like, how can I make my partner feel special today?
Mia, you just gave me another idea really quickly for the gentleman. In your phone, you have notes. You better make sure notes for her is a category. You can write down every little thing that she tells you, that she buys, that she orders. Make sure you have that specific category that's for her. Say notes for her. Put it in her name. Maybe put it in the name you call her, Pookie or something like that. Pookie's list. She don't have to know about that list. You keep tabs on her, and every time you need to look back for something to do, you got that notes app.
I think that's a great idea, you guys, because for me, it's all about the little things. I love the thoughtful, small little gestures. It's not about the big grandiose stuff that they do. I mean, while those are great once in a while, it's definitely those little things, because it means they're listening to you, and it makes you feel heard, right? When they're saying the things that you want them to hear, and then they actually pick up on it and they get those things for you. And it never has to be something big. It can just be sometimes the smallest little things. I had somebody that was mentioning about this water bottle that I had all the time, and I was like, you know what? I think he'd really love that water bottle. And so I just ordered it from Amazon and had it shipped right to him. He loved it and was so excited about it, because it wasn't something that he was like going to go get himself. And so it was just something that he was like, wow, she really listened to me and thought about that. So I think that's really the catch. And I do want to add that I saw Wizzy25 is asking if I have a question after the stream, where can I find you guys? So I just want to reiterate that the email is tangled@ld3productions.com. And we'd love to hear from you guys and hopefully get featured on one of the episodes with your questions.
Yes, please send those questions in. We would love to feature a few questions a week and really dig in deep to those ones for sure. All right, Wizzy, love isn't big gestures. It's daily ones like this. Yes, absolutely. I think love is never a big gesture. I think love is all the small things, and that's how we fall in love with somebody. We don't fall in love slowly. I mean, fast. I'm sorry. We don't fall in love fast. We fall in love slowly. So that first feeling when you meet somebody and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to be with this person forever, it's not love. Love is something that happens years down the road. I think it's lust. It's learning this person. I don't necessarily believe that love comes into play until maybe after the first year. I think until we find out all the quirks and we find out all the things that we dislike and we can't tolerate, the ones that frustrate us, I think because those little things make us fall out of love with somebody. I don't think that it's the frustrating things make you fall out of love, and the small gestures, the small sweet gestures make you fall in love. And as long as you're getting more small sweet gestures than frustrating ones, I think it works. But when you get more frustrating ones, that's when you fall out of love with somebody. And falling out of love, even after being with each other for years, is okay. We grow as humans every single day. Our feelings change, our experiences change us. And falling out of love with somebody is never a bad thing. It hurts the other person, yes, but I don't ever say stay with somebody just because they love you.
And I do also want to add that men actually fall in love by doing things for you. Do you know that? By actually doing actions. So when you have them come over and you're like, oh, I can't, get this shelf up. Can you help me put this shelf up? You're doing yourself a favor, because by doing things for the woman, the man actually starts to fall in love with you for that. So let them do things.
I agree. So don't forget to send those questions in to tangled@ld3productions.com. And let's go ahead and check out what our MOS question is now.
That's going to depend on when you emotionally feel ready. For some people, it may be a week. Others, it may be a whole year. It really depends on how emotionally connected you were with that person.
Depends how good looking they are too.
I would say 2 years. 2 years.
2 years.
Maybe 3 years. I wouldn't want the person I'm broken up with to be in another relationship.
As soon as possible.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I feel like, no time should be wasted between going into somebody's DMs.
You just got to put up some shots.
Yeah, put yourself out there. You can't let one person hold you back, especially if it didn't work. So yeah, ASAP.
I wouldn't mess around with somebody like that, and I would wait. I wouldn't want to be involved with somebody who just got out of a relationship.
I ain't gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? It depends on, how you feel. It could be immediately, or you can take some time to heal, or like I said, you can just go straight in. You know what I'm saying? As long as you got everything established with that person, let them know, like, look, I'm about to go do my thing. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, proceed with what you're gonna do.
All right, guys. Sad news for you. Summer's over. It's going to start getting cold. And it's time to settle down into those winter cuddle relationships. But the summer fling does not have to end. If there's feelings on both sides, that summer fling can turn into that winter cuddle buddy. It's cuffing season, guys. Are you ready? We hate that term, though. I mean, honestly, I think it's more of it's commitment season. It is time for us to think truly about all the fun we had through the summer. And was it really fun, or was it frustrating fun? I'm sure it was a little bit fun, but the frustration of trying to find that special person to have the summer fling with. So you've met that person and you want to make it into a winter person too. Long distance comes into play there. And I know a few people that have had some long distance experience, but I've never had that experience. TJ, Andrea, have you guys ever had that like long distance experience after like a summer fling or anything? I know you guys have had maybe a little bit of experience with a summer fling.
TJ, you want to start? I got to think about this one.
I got to honestly admit that I am getting goosebumps over here just thinking about this. I've never been one to let my summer fling last a little long, but I have been, one to, turn my fling into friendships and being, cordial with someone that I've hooked up with. It like I've said before, it's about stating your intentions. If you aren't ready to move to that next stage, set those intentions straight. But I have had, one relationship that's lasted longer than the summer, and we ended up going for about 2 years, and that was just because we both saw something in each other that we wanted to keep around. We wanted to be able to, allow that enjoyment to flourish. So we gave each other the try, and of course, ultimately things didn't work out, but we didn't leave it up to chance to say that we didn't do it. And that's something that I think people have to take into thinking. You you want to be able to allow things to play out and see where they go. So feel free to take that chance.
But you also set yourself up for heartbreak when you take that chance. So you have to be willing to have heartbreak in that situation. I mean, sometimes they last a month, sometimes they last 3 months. I mean, sometimes they last a lifetime. But are you willing to get your heart broken and try to pursue that fling, especially when it's long distance? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's really it's such a tough question because I don't think I've had one that was like turned into something long distance that I tried to keep going. Really, I just don't do well with long distance. Quality time is my love language, so I really need somebody like there when I want them. I've kind of found that even somebody that lives a little too far away, because here in California, everybody is far away. It feels like. So it's really difficult, and I've really learned to enjoy when somebody is close to me, distance wise, because it makes it very easy to just go, hey, do you want to hang out today? Or, I have a couple free hours. Do you want to go do something? And so I don't think that long distance allows for that always. So that's been tricky for me. But I think that we also have a tendency to let things go on longer than they should, or that we maybe want to at some point because we feel guilty. We feel bad ending a relationship that might mean something more to someone else than it does to us. Or vice versa. You need to end it, but you are afraid to do that. So you let it go on a little longer than it should. So then that sometimes makes it very difficult for it to turn into a friendship after, because you've kind of exhausted the relationship and made it go much longer than it should have.
Yeah, that's when it makes it hard to say goodbye. And
It's very
I've been through times where you just couldn't let someone go.
Yeah, because you feel bad, right? You hope that you could be friends, but that might not work either when they have feelings.
That's really deep, and I've actually cried over a fling that I let go on for too long, and it's bound to happen. So if you got, like Mia said, if you're willing to take that chance and let heartbreak ensue, do you? But if you feel that in your heart of hearts that you really don't want to let this person go, do everything you can.
Yeah.
So here's the thing with other people's feelings are not your issue.
Right.
How you make other people feel is kind of like you can do things to smooth that out, but the true root of their feelings is not your problem. I think that fear of hurting somebody else does keep a shit ton of people in a relationship because they don't want to hurt somebody else's feelings. But honestly, it's not your responsibility to make somebody else happy. The only person that you're responsible to make happy is yourself. So when you take other feelings into consideration, when you're ready for that breakup, you're setting yourself up to be hurt. You're hurting yourself in the long run. Your mental health is going to take a hit because you don't want to be with this person.
Oh man.
So why do we need to worry about how this other person is going to, it's not somebody, even if you want to be friends with them, we don't have to be friends with all of our exes. It's okay. to not. No, and I'm not saying, Andrea, I love that you are best friends with your ex-husband. I think it's amazing. And I know a lot of couples that way, but we don't have to be friends.
Wait, I didn't have to do that?
No, you didn't. You didn't. But I mean, their feelings, when you're ready for that breakup, their feelings shouldn't matter to you anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you're done.
I
You
think it's easier
dealt with
said
the frustrating situations, and you've reached that point where mentally you're done. You're ready for the breakup. Why do we care? Why should we care about hurting the other person's feelings? They've been hurting our feelings for years, and has it led to this breakup?
But what if it's not that kind of a breakup? It's just that, you know, it's just come to an end. It's just not going to go any further. You had a great time. Nothing happened that was, you know, catastrophic that was ending this relationship. You're just all of a sudden realizing it's just not the right place for you. And you want something different in your life. So you're choosing to move on. When I was getting divorced, I mean, I had told my ex-husband that I wanted the divorce. And then I felt so bad about it for like the next 6 months because he didn't want it. And I felt like I was, you know, breaking up the family. And I was, you know, moving to a different house and everything was going to be changing and different. And so it took me 6 months to even file after I even just said I want a divorce because of that fear of hurting him so bad. And I think it's just natural that we feel that when we care about somebody, we don't just want to see them hurt, especially if there's not a big reason why it ended. Now, if they did something where they're constantly hurting you, 100% I agree with that. Like, sorry, move on. But when they haven't, it's really hard. It's harder. It's easier said than done is all I'm saying.
No, I agree. It is easier said than done. And that's kind of where we're at in society is trying to learn to love ourselves more. I think I've seen a lot of women and a lot of men going through healing journeys where they're learning to love themselves, because 80s babies had lots of issues, honestly. And people in their 40s and at their 30s and their 40s are going through, especially women, because there was so much pressure on women to be these stay-at-home moms and work at the same time. They're going through these healing journeys and they're learning who they are. I've been through one myself. So when you go through that and you learn to love yourself as you are today and not the person you've been your entire life, then you're learning new things about yourself. And once you learn to love yourself that much, other people's feelings just don't matter anymore. I mean, honestly, I don't care if I hurt anybody's feelings. Besides my children, which I truly try not to do, but I'm open and honest with everybody. I have that tendency just to say what's on my mind. So me having that affect me, how I'm making them feel, is not going to allow me to be the mother that I am. It's not going to allow me to be the person that I am if I take other people's feelings into consideration.
Yeah, I think a lot of people run around, and I'm in agreement with you, Mia. I think a lot of people run around with this kindred heart that they think about, treat people how you want to be treated and things of that nature, etc. I think we tend to lose the thought of, we become more selfless. Uh, I- we become more selfless when we should be selfish when it comes to our emotions, and understand that, like Mia said, these other people's emotions and intentions and what they want out of a relationship no longer matters. I think when we get into the mode that we want to separate from someone else, we must only think about ourselves. I mean, it's hard enough already when you were in this relationship to think for the other person and yourself, and they weren't doing the same for you. So it's now time to give them what they were giving you and become more selfish.
I agree. Selfishness isn't always a bad thing when you are taking care of yourself mentally, because your mental health is how you survive. If you are not okay with your mental health, your life is just going to be a struggle, to be honest with you. And having a good, healthy mind and being able to make good decisions is probably the most important thing that you can do for yourself. Because when you are going through depression and you're going through the jealousy issues and all of these while you're trying to leave this person, it's just more of a strain on your mental health, and you're just going to go downhill from there.
Man, Mia, you are just beating my heartstrings today, like, because that's who I was. I was that
Right.
person that really cared so much. Like, oh, I'm gonna be like the bad guy now. Oh, I'm gonna be like the person they talk about forever. Yeah, I'm gonna be that person, but also I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be who I want to be, because the next person not gonna care about how I was with that person. They're gonna care about how I am with them.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we've got about 15 more minutes, and I would really like, we've talked about the breakup, we've talked about the beginning of the relationship, and let's talk about finding that new person. We've gone through that breakup. We've gone through, the summer fling's over, and we're looking for that other person. Where are we looking, guys? Are we looking on dating apps? Are we going out to bars? Are we meeting people at church? In the comments, guys, let me know where you guys are trying to meet people, because honestly, I think face-to-face interaction for a true relationship is going to be best. I started out online, but always meet in person. I think it's important, so important, especially for jealousy, to meet in person. Let this person know what they mean to you. You're making that time. You're buying the plane ticket. You're going 3 hours on a drive. Whatever you have to do to get to that person, meet them in person. Don't do the online only relationship. I understand the overseas relationships would be harder for that, but I mean, if you're willing to have a relationship with somebody that is across seas, please be willing to actually meet them in person, because that person on the other end is expecting to meet in person. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Would you date somebody? I know you're in the dating field, Andrea. Would you date somebody that lived overseas? I know you mentioned that you don't really like long distance relationships, but I mean, you met somebody online and you felt like you wanted to pursue something. Would you ask them to move here, or would you be willing to move there, or even just have that long distance relationship?
That's interesting. I am probably the wrong person to ask that, because I don't do well with long distance, because I like to have my person near. But I think about, like, would I love to meet like an Italian man in Italy or something? Hell yeah. And so then I have to think about, okay, what would that take? What would that take? So you're already a time zone, right? With a time zone difference of talking on the phone, that's what, like an 8 hour time difference, I think, for me in California. So we're talking kind of evening to morning. That's already really difficult. Then you're talking about flying somewhere to meet them, and then they're coming in. And then we've also talked in the past about relationships that are existent on a small, like a long weekend, or like a short week or something like that. Very difficult, because you're not really seeing the real person for who they are during that time. You guys have planned stuff. You're having fun. You're on like a high because you're seeing each other, right? So all of your endorphins are flying and all this good stuff. So it's really hard to gauge something like that. So it's hard for me to answer that question, because I don't know that I would be okay with it. I'd have to actually do an experiment. I'm open to doing that if you'd like, and trying that and seeing how that would work. I just don't think that would necessarily be for me. And to answer your other question about where are you finding people these days, for me, it is online, because I don't think people engage the way they used to out in public. I try catching eyes at, like, if I'm at some sort of event or I see somebody cute walking down the street, people are so engaged in their phone. They're talking on the phone. They're looking at their phone when they're walking. I got in the elevator the other day with 4 other people. Not one person looked up when I walked in. They were all on their phones for the entire time, and then they just walked out. And that is our world these days. We are so engaged in all of our electronics and everything like that. We don't have time to do anything else. So it's really, really tough. So meeting people just in general, I've tried going out to like a restaurant, you know, where you're just sitting at the bar and working again.
Okay, so my question is to you, since you've tried this, have you ever just walked up to somebody and said, hey, I think you're cute, and maybe, you know, would you like to grab a drink? We're here now. Let's go ahead and grab a drink. Let's get to know each other. I mean, honestly, that is how it worked in the past.
Yes.
That is how you met people in the past. You just literally, it's not a look. It's not, it's being open and willing to go up and speak to somebody.
But I'm also old school, so I am waiting for the man to come up on me because I'm old school like that. So I know you say no, but there's something still in the chivalry with people, with men that I love. I love the old fashionedness of a man approaching me and saying, hey, I saw you across the room. Can I get your number? Can I buy you a drink? I don't want to be constantly asking men to do that. That's just not my jam. And I don't really like doing that. I love for a man to be a man. And I'm really trying to stay in my feminine energy these days. So for me, that's not something I'm going to do.
Well, I'm going to let you know something, and I'm sorry, TJ, to interrupt you.
No, you were good.
Men are intimidated.
Me and I are having a discussion here.
Men are 100% intimidated by women, especially now, because women are so much more willing to speak their mind because we have been given so many rights.
So many platforms.
Men are 100% scared of women. It doesn't matter what the woman looks like. It doesn't matter what the man looks like. Men are intimidated to walk up to a woman. It is 100% both parties' responsibility. 100% both parties' responsibility. If you see somebody that you think is cute, it's your responsibility to let them know. They're not going to know, oh my gosh, she's looking at me over the room. She might think I'm cute. They might think, oh my God, do I got food on my mouth? Is there food on my beard? Why is this crazy lady staring at me? Just walk up to them and be like, hey, I thought you were cute. I know we're sitting here at the bar right now. Would you like to grab a drink? If you don't have time now, hey, here's my number. Give me a call and we'll go out on Friday, Thursday night, whatever.
Oh,
I mean, I think it's so important for
Not
them.
happening for me.
We wanted these rights. We wanted these rights. We wanted to have a more of a platform to be able to speak our mind, but we're not willing to walk up to men and ask them out.
It's not that we're not willing, but I'm not taking over a man's world. I am all about women's rights and the things that we want to have. But for me, it is about a man being a man, and I am still going to be a woman. I'm going to let that man come up to me and ask me out. I will give him the eye. I will give him the okay. He'll know. He'll know. If he looks up from his phone, he'll know. I don't need to go up to him.
I love what you both are saying. And I hate to say it because I've heard it already. We are in a sassy man apocalypse. Men are fucking scared to walk up to women, and I'm tired of it. Build your fucking self-confidence, bro. Go out and talk to someone.
Thank you.
I love that, you know, women are willing to be out. They are out because they want you to talk to them. Do not become insecure. That you are afraid of failure. But failure is what builds you to be a better human. You have to speak up for your fucking self. Closed mouths do not get fed, bro. If you're not willing to go out and be you, who the fuck are you? You're nobody in this world. Fuck, our president will go out and say whatever he wants to say, wherever. You should have the balls to be able to say what you want to say, whenever. Of course, we're not going out and being derogative towards women, but you can go out and offer a woman a drink. You can go up to a woman and just say, hello, I like your dress. Oh my God, I'm so glad to see you in my presence. I'll tell you, when I was fucking single, I walked up to a woman and said, I'm glad you are in my presence right now because I am able to speak with you and not a fucking scream, bro.
And
if
how hot is that?
You have the balls to say that, bro, you will go so far. Bro, just saying that immediate will start a whole fucking conversation. she will start to wonder, oh my gosh, he is really here to talk to me? Or was this meant to be? I kid you not. You go out and say that very fucking sentence, you will get 10 numbers guaranteed that fucking night.
Agree, TJ. I'm not giving into the hype of that men are afraid and women have to now take over. I'm not into that hype.
What?
I think men need to step back up. They need to get some balls and step back up and put themselves back out there and put it back on an equal playing field. That's what I think.
No, I see what you're saying, but I also think that women have been given so much to be scared of from men that they also are scared when a man talks to them. That which is what puts so much insecurity in men. They are afraid that, oh, this woman might think I'm trying to harm her in some way, which is why they don't want to come on too strong, because there have been so many men that have taken advantage of women nowadays that it has made it harder for men to be like, oh, I want to talk to you. And I understand where men come from and see that perspective, but we have to just take chances out here. Life is a game of risk, man. And if you're not willing to risk everything for it, what the fuck is the point of being alive? If you're willing to risk yourself every day to go out and collect your money and come back home and pay your bills, you might not have enough money that month to pay your bills. You take that risk. Take that risk to go out and talk to that woman. You may not have the time to buy her a drink, but you can have a conversation with her. You just have to take risk, man, and just be you. That's all it is out here. Like on the dating apps, you're fine with spilling out a pickup line. You should be fine with spilling a pickup line in person.
Agreed.
Shit, use ChatGPT in person. Fuck, there's so many ways to get through to women.
I don't know. Some dude walked up to me with his phone in his face, reading it off from Chat GPT. We might have an issue there. But I'm going to tell you right now, I have never in my entire life been offended when a man has walked up to me and, has approached me in any manner, whether it be to try to date me, to have a dance. I mean, I've danced with strangers at bars, and my husband has been there. It's not necessarily something that most people are willing to do, but
because it takes you appreciate that
you walk up to us. Nobody's going to be offended when you walk up to them.
See, the problem is the younger generations, they are not appreciative of that. There are women out there that see a man that walks up to them and they're like, ew, to be cool in front of your friends. I'm tired of that. If you want a man to talk to you, don't try to embarrass them. I mean, it may back the man off if you're really not into him, but you're pushing away someone that is giving you an opportunity that may not come ever again.
It's a small gesture.
It's a small gesture.
Sweet gesture.
And men, don't let that shit scare you, bro. Like, if she is pushing you off, she might be interested if you come up a second time. If you come up and be like, oh, my intentions were not to make you feel that way.
I'm going to tell y'all right now, there are more women on this earth than there are men. Okay? So just to let you know, you're going to get 4 or 5 no's, I'm not interested, or that's flattering, before you get a yes. So when you're turned down, don't be offended by it.
Yeah.
Okay. That is the most important thing that I want you guys to take away from tonight is don't be offended when you're turned down, guys. All right. Until next week, send your questions over to Tangled at ld3productions.com. And Andrea, TJ, bye, guys.
Bye.
in the light of day. The violin sings as the credits roll, a melody soft, it soothes the soul. Tangled heartstrings, we'll find our way through life and love, come what may.